A hostage situation is currently ongoing at a Colleyville synagogue, and President Biden has been briefed on what is taking place in North Texas. The FBI and Colleyville police are at Congregation Beth Israel. FBI negotiators are talking with the person inside who is holding people hostage. Police say there are no injuries at this time. Part of this incident was caught on the synagogue's Facebook live stream during this morning's Shabbat service. Tonight, the mayor of Dallas says police are adding extra patrols to synagogues in the city of Dallas as a precaution. The unfolding incident is getting international attention as well. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said in a statement, "I am closely monitoring the hostage situation taking place in Congregation Beth Israel in Colleyville, Texas. We pray for the safety of the hostages and rescuers." Let's go live to Fox 4's David SENTENDREY, who is on the scene in Colleyville. David?
Yeah, Blake, investigators are calling this a hostage situation inside Congregation Beth Israel here in Colleyville. So we are about a half a mile away from the scene. We are being at a Catholic church parking lot, so we have not been able to get right up close to the scene, as no one really has been able to. You can see the police cars that are keeping people away. We are told that it is a small group, somewhat of a small group, that is being held hostage inside the synagogue. I want to take everyone back to where this all began, and that was around 11 a.m. this morning when Colleyville police were called out to the synagogue for some sort of a disturbance, and shortly thereafter they started to evacuate people in the area. For people who know Colleyville, this is very much a residential neighborhood, a residential community. Many of homes out here, and people were having to leave their homes if they were nearby that synagogue. In the meantime, while police were out here, the FBI and SWAT were called out here. They established a perimeter around the synagogue, and crisis negotiators are currently communicating with someone who is inside that synagogue. Now, the FBI has not gone on record to speak of who is inside. We have been in contact directly with the FBI, but they will not give us those details at this time. They will also not say how many people are inside. They will not name the suspect or any of those specific details related to the investigation. I do want to point out that just a bit ago I spoke with the chairman of the Secure Community Network. That is a network that utilizes online intelligence to try and prevent attacks on Jewish institutions. It says it was alerted about this earlier today, and it contacted authorities, specifically the FBI, letting them know what they heard, and then shortly thereafter, a few of its members came out here to the scene. Take a listen.
It's hard to describe that we use Jewish institutions as leverages against issues that occur around the world, and the entire Jewish community of the world knows about this issue, knows about what has happened here today. I've spoken to a number of people in Israel and a number of people across the United States, and we are standing here with the families of these people and hoping and praying for their safety.
The synagogue's morning services were being live streamed earlier this morning. So when the hostage situation initially took place, that was being broadcasted on Facebook. You could hear audio of what appeared to be a suspect communicating with people who were inside the synagogue. That feed was taken down just shortly before 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, many things were said during that live stream. The suspect gave his identity, but that has not been confirmed from law enforcement. All those details of the conversations that were happening on that live stream have not been confirmed from law enforcement, but certainly we have seen some reports that have been circulating on social media. Do want to point out that within the past hour, Colleyville police and the FBI said no injuries at this time. But again, Blake, as you can see and as we've been reporting, this is still very much an active situation here in Colleyville.
And David, I know you're being kept a little bit of a distance away, but have you got a sense, while you've been out there for several hours now, that the tone, the sense of urgency has changed at all among the law enforcement on the scene?
Well, it's been pretty steady. I will say when we first arrived out here, we were walking just to the edge of this parking lot where you see the police cars with their flashing lights, and we were immediately stopped and we were told to stay on this back end of the parking lot. Obviously, they were clearing people out from homes and areas down the street behind me closer to the synagogue, so they do not want us close at all to the scene. I will say, as time has progressed, this Catholic church where we're at, they have a service that's going on right now, and there are maybe about 100 cars out here. So this service is still going on at this Catholic church. It doesn't seem like law enforcement has any issue with security or safety for them, so that's a good sign for now. But for the most part, a steady line of security and police activity throughout the past few hours.